Foolish, let me call it foolish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had talked before, and you were saying that this podcasting space in Africa in general is a very young space.
Yes, I did.
So it's a very young space. So anybody who's starting out, what can you like tell them?
These people are now the pioneers. Like, of course, I've seen like on social media, everyone is saying, "Oh, everyone is getting a mic for a podcast." But it's a very young niche, and people can tap into it. Like, do not worry about how many people are doing it. These people, time will weed out most of them. Like, it's just like writing. Something becomes very popular. Everyone wants to do it.
Yeah.
But with time, those people who are not passionate, those who did not want to do it because they wanted it, but because it was being done by others, those will be weeded out. So if that is your passion, this is actually the time to get in. Like, there is never a better time than
right now.
Beginning, yeah.
And so is it like gratifying to you that you started it was very shaky in 2020? Is the growth gratifying to you, like as a person, as a creator? Do you think that you starting in 2020 was the right decision?
2020,
yeah.
I think
if you starting in 2020, was it the right decision for you for the
the growth has been very, very gradual, like slow, the slow hike, but I appreciate it. I like everything I've learned throughout the process. It has been rocky. There's been a lot of problems like coming up, but I don't think there is a bad time to start. I think the only bad thing that you can do as a content creator in any kind of niche is not starting or giving up. Consistency is nice, so I think any time is okay. I don't think there was a better time I could have started, like in 2019 or anything. I think the time I started is okay. You can start right now, it's going to be okay. Anytime, just start and be consistent. Yeah.
What's the future, like tech-wise? What's the future of the space, and what's like the future of, like, because most of the time people are saying, "Oh, Africa is the future," and all that stuff. Like, what are some of your projections when it comes to maybe content creation in Africa?
I was telling you the other day, content creation as well is still very young in the African space. Let me not call it the desk space. And people are just now starting to consume our content, because as we said earlier, they've been looking in other markets for content, either in entertainment, in TV shows, whatnot. Everyone is now looking to support their own, and businesses. We are starting a lot of businesses in the digital world, and this is a very young space with potential to grow massively. This is not like it's like when the internet was starting. Now it's starting for us afresh here, because a couple of years ago, like when I did start in 2020, when I did start writing as a career, I could not go and tell my folks that this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be creating videos as a career. They would be like, what? Why not? Why do you not want to be a doctor or a pilot?
Do something
so
different.
it was still not fathomable, but it was still not fathomable. But now that it's something that people can do, it's being accepted. You're not going to be shunned. You don't have to be afraid to take out the camera. There was a time people were like being shunned.
Even like in like for photographers in Nairobi, it was hard for them to do anything.
But now, since I'll call it the bloom in the African space, this is the perfect time, and we can only go upwards from here.
What can, like, maybe I'm running this podcast. What can I do maybe for collaboration with? I don't want, maybe let's say I want to collaborate with people maybe in Uganda or something of the sort. What can you advise a person like me who wants to maybe to collaborate with others so that they can expand their market?
I think collaboration is pretty important. Working with other people expands your
Scope.
your scope highly, and it's a nice thing. And with technology and how easy it is to collaborate now, like you can use software like CleanFit to record a studio quality podcast with somebody remotely. So it's pretty easy right now, and I think I would highly advise people to do it. Running something alone
is hard.
Is hard, yeah. So collaboration is welcome. You should actually strive to work with people.
Other people in this space.
Yeah, people want to see different. Like I was saying, in terms of reviews, they want to compare. They want to hear like two different people have a discourse instead of one. I think two is better than one in that perspective. Yeah.
Okay. So for me, one of the major things, the problems that I have maybe with brands, especially in Kenya, is their PR packages. Is this because, well, let's say I'm looking at maybe there are some PR packages maybe being sent to maybe an Unbox Therapy or something like that. They are given maybe the whole range of devices to do reviews on. In Kenya, is that like a problem? Like especially like, is it a problem, a barrier of entry to maybe you tech people?
In the
because,
tech world.
yeah, because you can't get like these gadgets. Like let's say you want to review maybe the new Samsung, you cannot get maybe the whole range of the products for you to review. What can maybe brands do to maybe make it easier for you as a creator in this market to give your perspective on the products to the market that you are serving?
Given that I've said that the audience is ever growing, and now we have more content, and we need more content to satisfy this
growing need.
Yeah, so I think brands definitely have to step up, like provide this content for us. Yeah, like if it's whatever they are doing out there, they should do it the same down here. Yeah, because we are just going to be as important if they are selling to the market, and they want these people who are reading our content to buy their devices. And they should provide. They will. I think it's not even
eventually.
They will. It will have to happen. But the more the people increase, so the more we are creating content, and we are a lot of people. So I'd advise a lot of people to take it up. Like if you want to do it, like passionately, not because other people are doing it, but come and tukiwa wengi, we can definitely.
Mnaweza pressure these people to do better.
When I'm alone,
it's hard.
It's hard.
So how do you gauge growth?
Numbers. Growth is definitely numbers. You can see the quality of production, and then you can maybe some people will say money, but I don't know if like for me, I have a certain set of goals. I say by 2023 I want this to achieve this number. I want to have this number of people working for me or with me. I want to have audiovisual, like I've started. I want to have TikTok. I want to have YouTube. When I achieve all these set goals, that is growth.
Growth to you. You've talked about that monetization and crowdfunding. So how can Kenyan creators crowdfund? Like how can they do it? Because we don't have the access to this Kickstarter and all that stuff. How can, let's say I want to crowdfund, what steps can I take? I
think crowdfunding generally, if you Google, it's just asking for money from people around you. So you can start with your friends, you can start with family, you can start with
a wider group of people, maybe your audience.
From your circle, like people from your circle who you can easily convince
that it's worth
that what you're doing is nice. This is where crowdfunding starts. And then when you have growth now, and when you can, if this is only if you want to do it alone, because this is when you don't want to like make it a startup and approach and this is if you just want to go at it alone with no debt. And you just want to start alone, you can crowdfund. This is from
people, family, and all that. So, you've talked about the seed rounds and all that shit. Have you gone that way, you've decided just to do it on your own?
If
for grants and things like that.
We talked about monetization a little bit, and we said one was approaching grants. Another kind of monetization is approaching investors. But this one is a little harder. You have to have some
a product,
some foundation. You have to have something to sell to these investors. So like if you have started your podcast, you have started everything, and you can show
the growth, the audience, the what you're offering.
And you can show that it can generate income. So you have to be at least generating income. You can show this can be
done.
This can be monetized. This will bring back your money. This will make you back your money. You can then approach investors. But the problem is with this is you can't do it alone. You have to have a team. You have to have like a physical office. You have to have something that is tangible. Wanaweza ona wasema okay, this one, this is something. This is not just a person who is doing something for fun. So that is another kind of monetization. The other one is ads. This is easy. People will approach you. Like if you have a certain number of followers and viewers, this is not like brands. These are just ads. Like people just like yourself that want to advertise on your platforms. And this is another way people who are content creating make money. So they get adverts. Like if you have, like I have a Telegram channel, and once it hits like 2,000, 3,000 people in the channel, people will approach you and they'll tell you, oh, I have this app, I have this thing, can you like advertise it? It's a kind of influencer thing. So that is another kind of monetization. So if we were to talk about monetization, that would be a podcast by itself.
Okay, so one of the things that I had wanted to talk about as well, I think you'll be an expert on this. So there's been the rise of ChatGPT and all that. So people have talked whatever how you can prompt and all. So my interest was, there was an expose by some US magazine saying Kenyan contractors were the ones who made ChatGPT safer and all that stuff, and they were
paid shortly.
They were getting paid peanuts. So my thing was, what makes Kenya like a prime market for search? Because it's not only ChatGPT. There have been things like Kenyan, what do you call them? Not tech, but Kenyan coders and programmers are very, I think they are very well sought after in the international market. The academic writing and all that stuff. What makes Kenya a ripe place for brain drain, basically?
I think we are just as good as anywhere else. Like you see those investors, inventors, like in the old days, they invented the wheel and whatnot, and we know about them. We are just as good as them. It's just that because we are in Africa and we didn't have, we underwent a lot of problems in our like coming up, the whole colonization stuff, and that dimmed us down. That does not mean we don't have talent or we are less superior people than any other people elsewhere. So what happens is these people are more developed. Like if they invent shit, it will be more prevalent. Watu will see it more than they see it down here. So that dims down on everything from talent. People in Africa, let me not just say Kenya. In Kenya, they don't develop their talents. That is not to mean they don't have talents. They have them. So now what is happening, people are looking for many means of making money, income. And this is where now our brains are starting to get used up by these other people, because we are cheap, we are not developed. Like they could get the same rates, the same kind of work outside there, but because us, we are not developed, we are looking for that cheap amount of money. So they could outsource work elsewhere, anywhere. People are just the same. They have the same brain, they have the same whatever. But because it's cheaper here in Africa, in Kenya, of course they'll come here. And because we are ready to channel the work for the cheap pay, we're going to do it. So yeah, people.
So basically, there is a market. For
Yeah, there is market because I guess I'm going to just say I guess we are just cheap.
So we are as excellent as anywhere.
Yeah, as anywhere else, you can get paid. Like if OpenAI had decided to outsource that work to people in the United States, they would have paid so much.
The rates there
very high, and we can charge the same because it's the same kind of work, but we are just cheap, and of course they are going to come here because everybody wants cheap work. Yes.
Yeah, true. So what's in the future for maybe the tech space in Kenya, and what the future for your magazine? What's the future looking like? What are the plans and things like that?
With the growth in the tech space right now, and with people realizing what they're worth, and they are starting to charge what they're worth, they're starting to know they can do this thing. Better. They don't have just to farm, they don't have to be doctors and pilots, and you can do anything you want. Like those talents, you can be a basketball player, you can do everything any other person is doing to make money outside there. So it's actually going to be pretty interesting the next couple of years, because I think we'll see very significant growth in whatever everyone is doing right now, because the limitations are becoming
very little.
Very little, because even you can say they launched Starlink here, so even people in most remote areas will
can access internet.
They'll have access to everything. So it's ripe for growth.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Yeah.
I will add all the links where people can find you online, your work in the Techspace Africa pages. Then I hope we can host you another day. And thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Pleasure having myself on the podcast.
Peace.